Hey y'all, Tracy here with Through My Kitchen Window. Today we are going to make some fried squash. If you have never had fried yellow squash, you are missing out. Back in the early 80s, when I met my soon-to-be mother-in-law, she had fried these up for us. They are amazing, and the only way I know how to do them is the way she did them. She sliced them super thin, really as thin as you can get them. She sometimes gave them a little salt and pepper and then dusted them in flour. Sometimes she just salt and peppered the flour. But she always kept them a little bit wet with just a little extra water, dust them in flour, single layer on a plate with something in between if you're going to need to do an upper layer. And she left them in the refrigerator overnight so that that flour turned into a paste. And then deep fried them or fried them in a skillet with some oil, flipped them on both sides. They are crunchy and amazing, and I just cannot even explain it. I have turned quite a few people who said, "Oh, I don't eat squash," but after they eat these, they are squash eaters. They're delicious. I hope you give them a try. Stay tuned and watch how we do this. So see how it rolls? So if you cut one of the little sides off so that it'll lay flat and you'll be able to slice it thin. So we've got the squash cut up pretty thin. And then you see I have a little water on the plate so that it's going to be moist. We're not doing an egg wash, no milk, just the water. Salt and peppered my flour with a little sea salt and cracked black pepper. And so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the moistened squash and I'm going to lay a few in here. We're just going to sort of spoon, fork the flour over it. And you can see that it's just dusted in the flour. Give it a shake. And we're just going to lay it on the plate in a single layer. And you can see it's just enough water on there to moisten them. We're going to kind of knock off the excess a little bit and add it single layer. Y'all, she could not fry these fast enough with everybody in the family standing around waiting for them to come out of that hot grease. Sometimes if you bit into one that was a little bit thicker, you might get hot grease going down your lip. So you might need to wait a minute. Warning, they are addictive. So I'm out of space to lay those flat. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of wax paper over that. And then I'm going to start a brand new layer. Just like that. Now I'm going to kick up this last layer a notch with a little bit of Slap Ya Mama. And I've added some more flour there. But this time I'm going to sprinkle the seasoning over these and then bread them. So we got them coated pretty good with the spicy seasoning, and we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to roll them around in that flour. And you can see this last layer, I've laid a piece of saran wrap up there. That way we'll be able to close that up when we put it in the refrigerator. Okay, you see we have 3 layers. You can already see how the flour is starting to moisten up all of those dry spots. Once they're all moistened all around, that's when they're ready to fry. So you can see I took my saran wrap and left a layer on it. That way I can just roll that over and get that closed up and protected for it to go into the refrigerator and set, probably overnight or until later this afternoon. Look at those spices with the spice ones. They're going to be so good. Alright, see how all the flour has absorbed into the squash, and it's almost created a batter like it's been dipped into a batter. Alright, we're going to give our grease a little test. So you can see I just kind of keep flipping them until they get a little crunchy on the outside with that batter. And then once they're done, I'm going to throw them up there to drain well. These are getting really close. You just want to keep an eye on them. You don't want to burn them, but you don't want them too soggy, because then your crust will get soggy as they sit while you are cooking the rest of them. And as I'm pulling these out, I'm going to start throwing some fresh ones in to fry up. It's stuck. So these are the last of the spicy ones, the ones that have the slap your mama on it. So I don't really want to mix them up with the salt and peppers. So I'll be right back, y'all, when we get these all fried up. Listen to this crunch. They're so good. And now the Sally Marie favorite. Mayonnaise. The only thing missing is that old-fashioned colonial bread. We are doing this on wheat. A delicious squash sandwich made just like Sally Marie made. Yum, yum.